You call an attorney to find out if you have a valid case. The lawyer tells you you have only 1 week left in which to file a medical malpractice case in New York. Will you be able to do that? Will your attorney be able to do that? Would you like to know the answer? Come join me for a walk near the beach as I share with you the answer to that question. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski, a New York medical malpractice and personal injury attorney. The answer in all likelihood is no, you won't. Now, why is that? Because 1 week is not enough for an attorney to go ahead and get all your medical records. 1 week is not enough for your attorney to get all those medical records and then send them off to an expert to review them. 1 week is not enough for a medical expert to go ahead and review all those records to determine if the doctors who treated you and the hospital staff departed from the standard of care, whether they were careless, whether they were negligent. There is no possible way a medical expert in 1 week could be able to tell you, based upon reviewing all those hundreds and thousands of pages of your medical records, whether any wrongdoing was a cause of your injuries. And there's certainly not enough time to go ahead and tell you whether your injuries are in fact significant and permanent, even though you may believe in your heart of hearts that yes, you know the doctor was careless, and yes, you know that your injuries are in fact significant and permanent. They have altered your life. They have changed the way you do your daily activities, and your treating doctors have told you that you will never be the same. But that is not sufficient for your attorney and a medical expert to go ahead and give confirmation, to validate that you have a good case. There's much more. Is 1 week sufficient for either of them to be able to go ahead and come back within that time frame and tell your attorney, yes, you have a good case. Yes, you have a great case. The answer is no. Now, why is this significant? Because every one of these cases has a deadline. Every one of these cases has a time frame in which you are permitted to go ahead and file a lawsuit. That's known as the Statute of Limitations. If you come to an attorney trying to file a lawsuit after that time limit has expired, there is nothing the attorney is going to be able to do for you. And if that time limit has expired, it doesn't matter how bad the malpractice was. It doesn't matter how bad your injuries are. It doesn't matter how disabled you are. The fact is, once that time limit is up, you are done. And you've got a major problem and you will not be able to bring a lawsuit. So that's why it is critically important that the moment you begin to think that something was done wrong, that you seek out the best attorney you can find to try and tell you whether or not your matter is timely. You cannot, under any circumstance, rely on information that you find online about the time limit for your particular case. And I'm telling you right now, you cannot rely on a blog post, you can't rely on an article that you read. Importantly, you cannot rely on a friend or someone you know or an acquaintance to tell you how much time you have to bring a lawsuit for your particular matter. Their understanding of what the time limit is may be totally different for your particular set of facts. And if you now rely on that incorrect information, you are going to have a major, major problem. Also, you can't even rely on an attorney's own website and their articles about what the time limit is. Why? Because that article or blog post may have been posted a year or 2, 5 years, 10 years earlier. And guess what? Those time limits occasionally do change. Plus, you need to know whether or not there are certain exceptions for your particular facts. And the only real way for you to be able to tell intelligently, with an educated answer, to know whether your matter is in fact timely, is to speak to an experienced attorney. Now you explain to him the particular facts, and then, and only then, can you reliably rely on that information to tell you whether or not your matter is timely. So don't, under any circumstance, even my own stuff, I've put out over the course of years, you cannot rely on any attorney's information online or elsewhere to tell you whether or not you have time to file your lawsuit, because your facts may be totally different. If your matter happened in a municipal hospital, your time limit is much shorter than the general time limit that you would have in New York to file a lawsuit. If this involves a child, your time limit is much different. If this involves a state hospital, your time limit is much different. There are many different factors that go into determining definitively whether or not you actually have the time that you believe you have in order for you to go ahead and file a case. You can't just walk into an attorney's office and say, I know I'm within my time frame to go ahead and start a lawsuit against this careless doctor. I want you to start a case tomorrow. No, it doesn't work that way. The attorney cannot, under any circumstance, go ahead and file a lawsuit the next day. Why is that? It's because an attorney has to go ahead and get your medical records reviewed by a medical expert. It takes many months to go ahead and obtain all of your medical records, and then it takes months for the expert to review it and to come back with a final answer. So don't think for a second that just because your friend who brought a lawsuit for other similar injuries went ahead and told you what the time frame is to bring a lawsuit for medical malpractice, please don't rely on that information. So why do I share this with you? I share this with you to open your eyes and help you understand how these types of medical malpractice cases work in the state of New York. You know, I recognize you have questions or concerns about your own matter. Well, if your matter did happen in New York and you are thinking about bringing a lawsuit but have not done so yet because you still have questions that need to be answered, what I invite you to do is pick up the phone and call me. You know, I answer questions like yours every single day, and I'd love to chat with you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at Oginski-law.com. That's it for today's video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a fantastic day.